Welcome to Starship TV. Here's a movie review of The Wayward Bus, released in 1957. It's a drama film produced by 20th Century Fox. It tells the story of a diverse group of passengers traveling on a dilapidated bus through rural California during a torrential rainstorm. Their journey becomes a microcosm of human desires, frustrations, and unexpected connections. The film was directed by Victor Vicas and features the following principal actors and their characters. Jayne Mansfield as Camille Oakes, a glamorous but world-weary nightclub singer. Joan Collins as Alice Chicoe, the repressed and seemingly cold wife of the bus driver. Dan Daly as Ernest Ernie Chicoe, the rugged and somewhat disillusioned bus driver. Rick Jason as Johnny Chicoe, Ernie's ambitious and restless younger brother. Dolores Michaels as Mildred Pritchard. Betty Lou Keim as Norma Baker, the counter girl. Larry Keating as Mr. Pritchard, a stern and judgmental businessman. Olive Carey as Mrs. Pritchard, his meek and long-suffering wife. Interesting facts. The film is based on the 1947 novel of the same name by John Steinbeck. However, the movie significantly deviates from the book's plot and characterizations, particularly in its portrayal of Camille Oakes, who is more complex. Jayne Mansfield's casting as Camille Oakes was a significant departure for her, as she was primarily known for her comedic and blonde bombshell roles. This film attempted to showcase her dramatic acting abilities. The dilapidated bus, nicknamed Sweetheart, becomes almost a character in itself, symbolizing the broken dreams and uncertain futures of its passengers. The heavy rain throughout the film creates a claustrophobic and tense atmosphere, mirroring the emotional turmoil of the characters. Scene-by-scene outline. Introduction to Rebel Corners. The film opens in the small, dusty town of Rebel Corners, California. We are introduced to Ernie Chicoe, the owner and driver of the Wayward bus, and his strained relationship with his wife, Alice, who works at the local diner. The arrival of Camille Oakes, a flashy nightclub singer stranded in Rebel Corners, arrives at the diner, seeking passage to a California town for a convention. Her presence immediately disrupts the small-town atmosphere. Other passengers gather, other passengers arrive, including Mr. and Mrs. Pritchard, a wealthy and unhappy couple, and Johnny Chicoe, Ernie's younger brother, who dreams of leaving Rebel Corners. Norma the hitchhiker, Norma Baker, a young and seemingly naive hitchhiker, arrives, further adding to the diverse group. The storm begins. As the bus prepares to depart, a heavy rainstorm begins, making the journey treacherous and uncertain. Early interactions on the bus. The initial interactions between the passengers reveal their contrasting personalities and underlying tensions. Alice observes Camille with suspicion and resentment. The muddy road. The bus encounters a severely muddy and flooded section of the road, and Ernie struggles to keep it moving. Camille's allure. Camille's attempts to connect with the other passengers, particularly Ernie and Johnny, create further friction and unspoken desires. Alice's resentment grows. Alice's cold demeanor towards Ernie and her open hostility towards Camille become more pronounced. Mr. Pritchard's judgment. Mr. Pritchard's critical and condescending attitude towards the other passengers highlights his sense of superiority. Norma's innocence. Norma's quiet observations and seemingly innocent questions offer a contrast to the more jaded perspectives of the other travelers. Johnny's ambitions. Johnny's longing to escape Rebel Corners and his attraction to Camille become more evident. The bus gets stuck. The Sweetheart becomes completely stuck in the mud, forcing the passengers to disembark and work together, albeit reluctantly. Shared vulnerability. The shared struggle to free the bus leads to brief moments of connection and vulnerability among the disparate group. Ernie's frustration. Ernie's frustration with the situation and his strained marriage boils over. Alice's revelation. A moment of emotional vulnerability reveals the underlying reasons for Alice's coldness and repression. Camille's loneliness. Despite her outward glamour, Camille's underlying loneliness and desire for connection are hinted at. The bus is freed. Through a combined effort, the passengers manage to free the bus. Continuing the journey resumes, but the shared experience has subtly shifted the dynamics between the passengers. Arrival in Mexico. Implied. The film concludes as the bus finally reaches its destination in a town in California, leaving the audience to ponder the lasting impact of the journey on each of the characters. The resolutions to their individual struggles are left somewhat open-ended. This film was visually wonderful with its black and white cinematography. All the characters were interesting and the story very engaging. Jayne Mansfield and Dan Daly were the standout stars. Joan Collins had a hard role to play, but she did give a good performance. We give this film a 4.5 out of 5 stars. You're watching Starship TV. If you like this content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.